Biohackers. Have you ever heard of biohackers? I came across a very interesting and worrying video about them online, and I decided to talk about this in my conversation group, Smart Talk. So we're going to see a lot of vocabulary related to health and related to these health trends that we see on social media. Take a look at these images here. They all show some sort of trend, right? We have the ice plunge and some shakes with protein and supplements. And here we have someone meditating, right? Using earphones in what seems to be a regular living room, perhaps even a workspace. Have you ever tried to meditate in public? And here we have people using different apps and a smartwatch to track their physical activity. And we have someone tracking the quality of their sleep. So think about these images. Which ones have you tried yourself? Have you ever taken any special shakes or supplements? Do you use any apps or smartwatches? Talk about these images out loud. Which of these methods do you trust? Have you tried? Let's activate this discussion. Now, talking about vocabulary. When it comes to health, a very common mistake that I see people making is between these three guys here. Health is the noun, saúde, okay? So you should worry about your health. I worry about my health. Repeat with me. I worry about my health, and you should worry about your health. I feel I'm not as healthy as I could be. What about you? I feel I'm not as healthy as I could be. Do you think you are as healthy as possible? That means saudável. That's the adjective, okay? Healthy. And then healthily is going to be the adverb. So we gotta eat healthily to live longer, right? Eat healthily or live healthily. However, I see in series and interviews, and I see when I travel, like here in the US, lots of native speakers say, eat healthy, which wouldn't be standard grammar, but it's very, very common and sounds very natural. Okay, so please eat healthy. You're going to see that being used a lot. Please eat healthy. All right. Now, because we're going to talk about biohackers, which, by the way, are people who believe they can use technology and science to help them live longer and be biologically younger. So biohackers can try to use technology and science to seem biologically younger. I know, right? Does sound weird, but we're going to study more and dive into it in class, right? Biohackers try to use technology and science to seem biologically younger or biologically older. Smoking can make you biologically older. Is this true? Maybe it's not. These are examples, voices in my head. I'm not a doctor, all right? These are examples, things that we might say or we might wonder in a conversation with a friend, all right? What about tracking progress? Nowadays, we have lots of apps and devices that help us track our progress. Do you use any of them? Smartwatch, right? Some different sensors that some athletes use as well, and then tracking the quality of your sleep. So we track progress. Activate this language. Speak out loud. What about health shortcuts? Shortcut means atalho, okay? Atalho, shortcut, as simple as that. So, what is a health shortcut that you trust? Do you trust any health shortcuts? Some people think that cold plunges, some people think that cold plunges are health shortcuts. Health shortcuts to boost, for example, energy. By those cold plunges, it's not ice plunge, right? It's a cold plunge. They think that that's a shortcut to boost your energy. There are other ways of boosting your energy, but they take longer. If you have this cold plunge, it's super fast and you are in seconds or minutes energized. So that would be a shortcut atalho, okay? Shortcut. And I personally think that nowadays people take lots of supplements as health shortcuts, which honestly, I don't know if they work at all. Probably many of them do, but I think that people are not doing what they should be doing and think they're healthy because they're taking all this stuff, right? Supplements, we just use them. Do you take any supplements? Do you trust any brands? Have you ever been advised by a doctor to take supplements? Have you ever been advised by a doctor to take supplements? Or has a doctor ever prescribed supplements? And something can be experimental, right? So maybe she's following an experimental diet, okay, to increase muscles, right? So she's following an experimental diet. This is an experimental treatment, an experimental treatment, all right? Now take a look at this word here. This is something that I learned while planning this lesson, by the way. Let's check the pronunciation together. I'm going to open Translate as well. Oh,
Nootropics. Nootropics.
nootropics. These are supplements that help with your memory, with your focus. Oh, a drug that is designed to make you remember things better or help you think more clearly.
Nootropic. Nootropic.
Nootropic.
Nootropic.
It's different from this pronunciation. Oh,
Nootropics.
nootropics. It's different, isn't it? Let's check another one, just in case. Oh,
Nootropic.
nootropic. And then we can come to this other website, which I love, Youglish, and we can see real people using the word.
Control. You will have heard me mention nootropics multiple times before. Emotional control. You will have heard me mention nootropics multiple.
He said nootropics.
Nootropic. Nootropic.
Nootropic or nootropics. Both pronunciations are very common. So people are taking nootropics or nootropics. I gotta choose the pronunciation I prefer. To help improve their grades in college. There are lots of series on Netflix about, kids and teenagers taking these active drugs to help with their studies. And that improves productivity, right? These drugs can help improve productivity. These drugs can help improve productivity. What about mainstream science? Mainstream is anything that's widely accepted. So mainstream media, TV, open TV, the radio, newspapers, right? Mainstream science is the science that is widely accepted, right, in society. So there is not mainstream science. Oh, mainstream science says there is not enough proof for some hacks. Mainstream science says there is not enough proof for some hacks, right? And long-term goals. So you should know your long-term goals. You should know your long-term goals before choosing a diet. What do you want with this diet? Be stronger, lose weight, gain weight. So you should know your long-term goals before choosing a diet. Activate this language, adapt, form your sentences, all right? What about longevity? Longevity. Take a look at this pronunciation.
Longevity. Longevity.
Okay? Longevity. Longevity. Many people are interested in health hacks to improve longevity. People want to live longer. Many people are interested in health hacks to improve longevity and reap the benefits, to enjoy the good results of something, to reap the benefits, okay? So if you sleep and eat clean, you reap the benefits later, all right? You reap the benefits. If you exercise, you'll reap the benefits. If you meditate, you'll reap the benefits. Activate this language with me. Now, before we move on, let's think about some questions. This is the first set of questions that I'm going to propose in class to my students. How would you rate your overall health right now? 1 to 10. How healthy are you right now? What healthy habits do you follow every day? Little things, maybe water, maybe the food, maybe your breakfast is healthy, maybe you sleep well. How often do you exercise? What kind of workouts do you prefer? Have you ever exercised in your life? How would you answer these questions out loud? A lot of the language that we saw now can help you build examples, right? Do you track your sleep? Do you track your steps? Do you track your calories? Why? Why not? I do track my steps. And I can tell you now how much I've walked in the last month. That's gonna be 76,000 meters, 76 kilometers. It's not that much, actually. I'm disappointed. This week, 13 kilometers. So, do you track your sleep? Do you track your steps or your calories? How important is rest or mental health in your routine? If I don't sleep well, I'm no one the next day. I'm grumpy and I eat too much and I don't produce as much. So how important is rest or mental health in your routine? What do you do to stay focused or increase your productivity? I need silence. I need to be alone. I need my phone to be in the silent mode, right? I need to have just the tabs I need. What are the strategies that you use to be more productive? What's one small habit that makes a big difference in your health? If you had to choose, oh, well, this here I do well. I mean, maybe it's just the water, you know? Now, moving on in our lesson, phrasal verbs related to health. Workout. So do you work out? And I tried a new workout last night and I'm all sore. So workout together means treino, a new workout, a heavier workout, a longer workout. Workout separated is the phrasal verb malhar, all right? So workout. And cut down on. Let's cut down on sugar for a while. Let's reduce the amount of sugar we eat. Cut down on alcohol, cut down on beer, cut down on sugar, cut down on carbohydrates or carbs in general, right? So let's cut down on something to reduce. What do you have to cut down on? Pause the video, form your sentence out loud, and stick to a diet, okay? It's hard. It's very hard for me to stick to a diet. It's very hard for me to stick to a diet, to keep it, right? Stick to it. And carry on with something. It's to continue doing. It's very similar to sticking to something, okay? She carried on with her supplements, her supplement plan, right? For 3 months. She carried on with a diet. All right. So I hope you now have way more language to help you talk about health in an interesting way. And I'm going to see you in class.